people who had a different experience. So I chose to live on campus the first year, right? And I don't live very far from here. I live 5 minutes from here. So theoretically, I could have just, jumped on the 720 and made my way down to Westwood every day. And that would have been fine unless you're going to do that this coming year. But there are a lot of, at places like UCLA, there's so many resources that if you're not there, they'll pass you by, right? Like you have to be intentional and available. And oftentimes, especially coming from community college, we're used to just going to class and then going home. Do not do that. It's a bad plan. Because again, you couldn't possibly do all the things that UCLA has for you to do that would be beneficial to you, but you kind of got to pick a thing, pick a lane, and then go hard in that lane. And you may not necessarily be sure where your lane is, so that's why you kind of got to be there. So integrating into the campus by living on campus for the first year, I think is the best way to do that. You'll establish for yourself a network, even if it's you and your roommate, you and your floor mates, you and your building. There's tons of different layers of solidarity that can come up. You and the people in your major, people that may be just sitting right to the right and to the left of you in your class, and that'll expand out each quarter. You have more and more networking layers, more and more socialization, more and more enculturation. And you'll find out weird resources or weird ideas, weird paths that you might take incidentally through some connection with somebody, right? You're like, I wonder how study abroad is in Spain. My friend is studying abroad in Spain. Well, tell him to tell me about it. Cool, and you'll find out about it. Like he said, talk to a professor while you're there because you had time, because you didn't have to fight the traffic on the way back. To find out about an internship opportunity or a graduate program or a nice research program that might happen. But oftentimes students who choose for their first year not to live on campus, they don't know anything about it. And they have to fight for anything that they might have access to because they're always in transit. Right? So it's not a solid answer. Everything's going to look different. Your personal situation might make it so that it's better for you to live at home, and that's fine, and you can still have a great experience. But if at all possible, I would recommend staying on campus because there's just so much to do and so little time to do it. So, as you were saying earlier, there's different housing options or whatever. One of them is the dorm option that's more or less traditional in a sense, right? You're living in a dorm with all that means, sharing a bathroom potentially with the floor, having a roommate, things, right? Then there's off-campus apartments that are surprisingly nice. I was very shocked at the hardwood floors and the furnishing. It's very, very nice. You'll have 3 other roommates, so it'll be 4 of you sharing the rent. Rent is about $32 to $36, so you're paying about $800 a month, which is still pretty much half of what you'd be paying in the dorms. The trade-off is that you won't have a meal plan, so you have to buy your food, and your financial aid should, per their budgeting, accommodate you to not die per each quarter. But then that's another thing that you have to do. You have to shop, you have to cook, you have to buy stuff. Which, if you're used to that, then that's fine. It's not an issue. If you have never, then it's a shift in culture.
But you can buy a meal plan anyway.
You can. I wouldn't recommend. Just because it's really expensive.
But you can do it.
You can do it. Yeah, but you're on campus. It's like a block. You're just off campus. At the University Apartments, and that's also where the co-op is in that area. So it's not a bad look, and it is affordable, a lot more affordable. But just like we were saying before, if the difference between this and that is only a couple $1,000, and one affords you a lot more comfort and freedom to just kind of do and be and devote time to other things, I would say invest in yourself this couple $1,000 for this year. Second year, again, my position is always you should never pay for that second year if you're at all intentional. So you're just thinking about that first year. And if that first year, the difference is only a couple $1,000, then go with the more comfortable option. Is what I'm saying. That's comfortable in that there's less things for you to worry about. If you have to worry about cooking or not, go with the not cooking. You have to worry about parking or not, go with the not parking. If you have to worry about study groups and getting home past a certain time, right? Because a lot of my study groups go well into the evening.
Is that at the apartments?
My study groups, each dorm has a study room per floor and then 3 on the first floor. And a lot of times they are the hubs, even for people who are using the apartments. They like to study in the dorms study rooms because they're nice. And so generally speaking, people socialize and well, people congregate in those study rooms in the dorms. And if you have access to a dorm, whether you live there or you just have a friend who does, that's a great look. And again, those study groups can be can kind of draw on. And if you have to be either home by a certain time to be traffic, if the bus stops running at a certain time because you're not there, or even if you have to walk, sometimes that walk, that half a mile walk from campus to your apartment is obnoxious, and sometimes you'll choose not to do it just because you have to walk. I'm saying whatever layer of comfort that you can apply, even if you have to pay a little for it in the short term, take it. Because after 3/4 of your Berkeley, so your semester, after 2 semesters of doing the same thing every day, those small little inconveniences become big inconveniences.